Happy Friday, a very special Friday today, SysAdmin Day. Welcome to a very special live stream here, community effort and more. I've got a really good crowd here, really good crowd online. I've asked, I think we have our first person joining from the ocean at sea, but whatever media you're watching on, I do believe we're quadcasting today. Let us know where you're tuning in from, what U.S. state or what country. We've already got our panel in, so let's bring in our two awesome community members and the rockstar community manager here at Veeam. So, Maddie, I'll start with you. Do a quick intro for the stream for everybody.
Well, first of all, hello, Rick, and hello, Veeam community. Happy SysAdmin Day. It is really great to be here with all our community for this special celebration. I am happy that Jos and Falko accepted our invite, and I'm looking forward to hear on their SysAdmin stories today. I'm pretty sure they prepare something great. But okay, a few things about me. At this point, I think everyone kind of know me, at least from our recaps, weekly recaps, as well as from the hub. But I would just want to say something about me. There you go. I am in charge of supporting and enabling our Veeam community members to create the best tech community out there that anyone and everyone would be wanting to be part of that. So yeah, these are just a few words about me. And the next, Falco, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. First of all, happy SysAdmin Day to everyone, and I'm very honored to be here. My name is Falko. I'm from Germany, and I'm a field solution architect for all things data protection. I've been working with Veeam for like the last couple of 10 years, I guess. And yeah, here we are today.
Great. How about you, Jos? Would you like to say a few words about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. My name is Jos M. I live in the Netherlands. I work for a small company in the Netherlands doing big things with infrastructure, backup, disaster recovery. And the most important thing is the second time Vanguard.
Yeah, this is really great. Actually, both of you are Vanguards. Well, Falco is also a legend, but this is great, and it's great to have you part of our program. So now, what about, Rick? What do you think about giving a bit of background about the SysAdmin Day history?
Well, first of all, Maddie, it's a global thing. You know, we've got Falco tuning in from Germany. We've got Jos from the Netherlands. You're in Romania. I'm in Ohio. We've got a new producer in Ohio. We've got a producer in Georgia and Texas. And let us know in the stream, whoever has map duty today really has their work cut out for them, because we have some solid attendance. Dips is even on from the UK. Let us know where you're tuning in from. But it's a global thing. SysAdmin Day is an official holiday. We're staking the claim in the ground. Maddie, tell us, what is SysAdmin Day?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, the official name is actually National System Administrator Appreciation Day, but for making it easier and not sound that long, we are just saying SysAdmin Day. And it's usually on the last Friday in July. The purpose of it is to recognize the IT professionals around the world who honestly keep the organization of all sizes up and running. And yeah, the founder of this day is Ted Kekatos. It sounds to me Greek. I haven't checked, to be honest, but let us know in the comments if you know if he's Greek or not. And I believe one time he saw in HP magazine advertisement like that they were showing gratefulness towards the coworkers in system administrators roles, and they were receiving flowers and fruit baskets because they installed some printers. And the day before he saw that, actually he installed several of the same printers at his place at work. So Kekatos got inspired to launch the SysAdmin Day. So thank you for that, Kekatos. The first SysAdmin Day was celebrated on July 28th in 2000. So that's 23 years old already. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I'd say it's one of the first digitally transformed holidays that are out there because, system administration and, the integration with the workplace. But I'm really kind of frustrated because in my very long career, I have never received flowers or food baskets. And I've put in a shed load, and that is not a cuss word. I got to remember we're live, of printers and PCs and servers. But I have saved the day with backups. So I think that's really a good setup there, Maddie. And one of the things that we want to do today is we're going to have Falco, Jos, and myself share a system administration type of story. And we've got some community operations to share as well. So I'm going to set you up first, Falco. Tell us your really good sysadmin story.
Yeah. So you were pointing it out perfectly, Rick, because you were saying you saved the day with backups, and I saved the day with testing backups. So if we say testing backups, it comes to obviously Sure Backup. So we had a customer, I work for a systems integrator in Germany called SVA, and I had a customer of mine where we consulted him for several years, had many iterations of their architecture and infrastructure. But Sure Backup was never a case, and I really desperately wanted him to convince and use Sure Backup in the future and build up his DR data center, DR site for testing, all that stuff. And the customer itself has very specific virtual machines. So they are in the mechanical engineering industry, and all of their virtual machines are mostly specific applications for some high complex mechanical machines. So in the end we ended up with implementing a third DR site for VM replication and for testing daily Sure backups. So what we did is when we ramped up all the Sure backup jobs, and we tested like the 10 most important virtual machines to him, because those were like the very much used components of all the machines, which were mostly Red Hat Enterprise Linux and SUSE Linux Enterprise servers. Then we were live watching the Sure backup process and booting up the machine. And suddenly, during the first boots of those machines, we discovered while really live watching it on screen that some sort of bug or bad package wouldn't let those file systems boot. And the thing is, the file system wouldn't be initiated, and therefore the machine itself wouldn't be initiated as well. So we ended up using the virtual lab Sure Backup and an application group which was running in the background to discover the problem and fix in production. The thing is, the customer would have never seen this without Sure Backup. And basically that is the message here. Sure Backup is still, in my terms, the most underrated feature and most important feature. Test your backups. It costs you nothing. Check your backups and verify it with them, because it's so easy to do. And I can only encourage you guys, and also emphasize it once more, use it, and you will end up with not so much pain and not so much suffering. And that's why we can make this as a sysadmin day like a benefit for you.
Oh, that's super clutch, Falco, because I've always said the virtual lab has a learning curve. It's probably the hardest part of Veeam backup and replication, but the juice is worth the squeeze. You can quote me and Scott on that one. All right, I just got word from the producers that the map is ready. So let's take a quick look at that. And wow, we've got Nebraska, California, Connecticut, Canada. We've got, is that Guatemala? Mexico, Costa Rica, Cayman Islands might be a first for me. I'm not sure. Let's take a look in EMEA. We've got Italy, the UK, hey Dips, Switzerland, Germany, again, Belgium, hey Nico, Romania, Poland, France, Turkey. And then let's go to Brazil. Always good to get one big swatch of green there. And let's go over to Africa. Got it solid representation there. Morocco, Rwanda, Botswana. So thank you all. And let us know in the chat. We've got hey Shane, that's nice to see you. But let us know where you're tuning in from, because we love building. And India, oh, I forgot India, and Iran and Saudi and Japan. Oh man, it's growing on me. It's like I can't keep up. Anyways, good stuff. Thank you all for joining, and keep these comments coming. I'm trying to multi-thread here, but let's take a look at a different story. And Jos, you have an interesting sysadmin story as well to share. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Yes, thanks. In fact, it was my first experience with the ransomware attack. To be honest, it's gonna be a few years ago, but it was an important change for me and the customer. The situation was that the customer already uses Veeam for a couple of years, and the installation they had has been up and running for a couple of years. At the same time, a ransomware attack was not that well known at that time, and the measures were not applied by everyone yet. So the same with this customer. Everything was domain joined. The backups were neatly made to a Windows repository, and the thing they had was a copy job to an archive solution. At that time, the company I worked for just became a Veeam accredited service provider, and therefore we were approached to help with that customer that was hit by the ransomware. There was help inside from all kind of companies, a forensic team to investigate the source and find out which information was leaked, but also support from the different hardware suppliers and so on. It soon became clear that nothing was working as intended. Everything was encrypted, and the same with the backup itself, of course, because it was domain joined. It all consists of encrypted files, and they even managed to delete the retention points on the dedupe appliance. So we had nothing, and it all was done in like 10 minutes. Everything was encrypted and misconfigured and so on. After some time, we saw that the dedupe appliance was not completely empty, and it turned out that the cleanup schedule process took much longer than expected. It was an older appliance, and this was also our escape. To be honest, the hardware supplier managed to recover some retention points and make them available, and we present them that to a new Veeam environment. And we were able to perform the restores through a washing mechanism, so we can check and control and let things run for a couple of times before we put them back in production. And in the end, we managed to recover, I think it was about 75% of the virtual machines, and it took around 4 weeks. And from the time on, we learned all a wise lesson is that you cannot recover from this kind of problems alone. You need a lot of people, expertise, and the same. In the beginning, we thought we would recover very quick, but we learned that this kind of things are more like a marathon than a sprint. It takes a lot of time. You have to stay sharp, go to bed once in a while, and next to making a good backup, always follow the security and best practices guidelines. That are the things that I learned from this story, to be honest.
Oh, this is so deep, Jos, because I think worst practices that you have a scenario, really good or bad, can help you pivot to best practice, and then the benefit is sharing that with the community. All right, I put it in the chat. I need the audience's help. So this is just going to the LinkedIn because I can watch that. I want you to pick a box or a tire because that will predicate what story I tell you. But while we wait for those results, Maddie, kind of impressions of Falco and Jos's story. What sticks out to you?
Yeah, these were like really great stories. I know that our community actually talks a lot about shore backup. We even had like few events around these features. So I think that was a really great story. Thank you for sharing, Falco. And well, ransomware, the story that Jos shared, that this is always talked about at Veeam and in our community. We even have a ransomware trends report. I know both Jason and Dave would be happy to hear that I talk about it here in our live stream. So yeah, really great stories. And thank you for sharing. I'm really looking forward to see what you're going to share, Rick, and what our audience is going to pick. Let's see.
Well, well, there is a little bit of latency with the stream and then the chats, but I have enough to call it. And really comes down to Ed, who responded in emoji, and that is speaking my language. So it looks like we got a couple of votes for tire. And really, it's kind of funny because it's always based on the history. And so Falco can relate because it's really a similar story, but true story about El Ricachon. I have 5 reasons why I hate tape, and this is one of them. And it revolves around tire manufacturing. Let's just leave it at that. So I had, and this was the SysAdmin story that made me pivot hard to disk-based backups. A couple decades ago, I did a lot of work in the supply chain automation space, and that was really ahead of the time for disk-based backups. A lot of times it was just the disk, the source to tape, much less there wasn't the 3-2-1 rule back in the 2000s, the first decade of this century. And I installed a system in an industrial environment, and due to some specific connectivity for industrial equipment, because not all of that was Ethernet at the time, it couldn't be more than like 300 or 200 feet away, something like that, from the source equipment. And we're talking about a tire fabrication factory industrial setting. And it was on, like a mezzanine, so it was up high, right? And the new build went great. But then I came back a couple months later, and underneath the mezzanine, they put a paint booth. So like imagine on a tire, sometimes they have painted lettering, spray paint floating up into a tape drive is not a good combination. And luckily, I didn't have a restore failure. I had backup failures. I thought people just weren't changing the tapes. I walk out and I pull out this looks like a cookie, like a white ghost of a biscuit, like you could eat it. It was so covered in paint dust. So that was my pivot. And it was in an environmental enclosure on top of that with filtration, and it still was that bad. But I pivoted hard to disk-based backups after. Maybe we'll save Box for 2025. So it was a fun story. So one thing I want to roll out, a couple good interactions from everyone, but if anybody has a question for Falco, for Jos, I see we had one person ask, how do we become a Vanguard or a legend? And thank you, Sophia, for interacting there. She's helping me out on that. But any questions that anybody has, or even Falco or Jos, anything you want to share based on those stories?
Maybe I start with the sure backup thing because, like I said, sure backup is really a very important feature. And after that example I had with this customer, I also used this example, of course, at all the other customers, because I told them, hey, you guys wouldn't have noticed if you didn't test your backups. And I don't mean test your backup with a manual restore, for example, because we know that nobody's doing that. But we know that an automatic restore or an automatic test like sure backup really is the key to success here. So I'm just using this example like everywhere I go. I want to pay sure backup because it's just that easy. And this will really help you.
No, I think that's the heart of it all for sure, Falco. Just a sharing of like these benefits that you can get. Just got word from the producers that the map is ready, so we'll take one more look at that. And one thing really sticks out to me. A big shout out to Victor Wu joining from Macau, SAR, China. Victor, it's got to be either midnight 11:30 or 11:20 p.m. for you. Indonesia is in the house. A couple other states and countries have joined. France, I see a big one there. Oh man, Missouri. Sorry, Shane, had to. Missouri, North Carolina have joined in the North American region. And then we have Slovakia over in EMEA has joined, as well as we've added Kenya, Indonesia, and Kazakhstan. So lots of good additions here. I love lighting up the application. All right. So we also had something special. We were sandbagging it for this stream, right, Maddie? We got something special to share.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Let's jump into the screen share here. I have something I want to turn over to Maddie to talk about, something we've been working on.
So yeah, most of you, I'm pretty sure know about it because we've been talking about it for a few weeks already, and we've been sharing it on social media as well. And thank you, our social media team, for supporting this cause as well. We had the Blog of the Month special edition where we asked our community to write some blogs about their sysadmin stories over the years. And there were some very, very interesting stories. And today we are going to also announce the winner. We are going to talk about the story, the winning story, as well as the next two, the second place and third place. And let's start with the winner. I would suggest you are already showing it.
Yep. We got a great post from Scott.
Yes, absolutely. So basically, Scott is the winner of our contest for the Blog of the Month special edition of July. And he is going to win a 150 gift card, a sysadmin hero badge, and the Blogger of the Month badge, the standard one. So that's really awesome. But I wanted to also thank everyone for contributing and writing such great stories. You know, like from my perspective, you are all winners. So congratulations on that. Unfortunately, only one can be an official winner for this content. And as we said, this is Scott Patterson with 7 votes. If you go now to the poll, you're going to be able to see that he got 7 votes. And his story is When Veeam Saved the Day for Me. The story starts basically with someone that decided to put a very large file in the sysvol folder to replicate it without confirming the room. So all 4 domain controllers went offline. And then they also were in a really bad state. And then Scott had that very clear that he has to do a domain controller restore. And luckily, as he mentions in there, he had an offline copy of the physical servers, file servers, DCs, and important infrastructure IP addresses on a physical printout. So after just doing few modifications on the hosting files, he was able to restore it. So yeah, thank you and congratulations once again, Scott. And let's go to the second place.
Before we forget, I'm gonna break the rules because this has just been born, the new award, the new badge, and I just got Sophia to confirm. There it is. We've got a new badge live on the show right here for Scott. So I want to just give him a big shout. And so that badge, real time, it went from 5 to 6. So a little bit of live magic here as well. But yeah, let's go take a look now at the next post from Marco.
So yeah, nice job, Scott. You even got your badge live
on the show.
That's awesome. That's really awesome. So yeah, the second place goes to Marco S with 5 votes. So it was pretty tight. And his story, a sysadmin, happy ending story. So he let us know that it had a happy ending in here. That's important. I'm not going to go into details, but this is a story about natural disasters. You know, that was the beauty of this contest. You had like so many types of recoveries, you know, like from different disasters. So that was really beautiful to see out there. So they had a big storm that affected their data center. And what can you do? Hopefully you have a plan already, right, in place in order to have a happy ending story as Marco. So that's really super interesting. And I would really advise everyone to go and read his story at the community hub. And thank you, Marco, for that. Now that I'm talking about second and third place, you know, I would like to give them a badge as well. What do you think, guys? Jos, Falko, Rick, what do you think? Do they deserve a SysAdmin Hero badge?
It's really pretty.
You have to say it. Yes, no, yay, nay.
Falco, Jos, what do you think? Give them a badge?
It's a special badge. You can only earn it once a year, so.
That's
okay.
true.
How about our public, the people that are listening to us?
Yeah, let us know in the chat, in the comments. Badge or no badge? That is the question.
Yes, let us know. Do they deserve it or not? And now let's talk about the third story in here, the last but not the least. Third place goes to Derek, and he got 3 votes. Actually, I really, really loved the story. It's a very long story, Derek, but I promise I read all of it. It's very interesting. The title is A Sysadmin Story, the cost of not updating your systems when advised and when lives are at stake. So this is a story, you know, about a hospital, so there are lives at stake. So it was important that in the end it had a happy ending as well. Again, I'm not going to go through all the story, but I'm sure many MSPs, partners, and service providers go through this kind of situation. The story is going to be at the hub, but part of it, he didn't share it in here. He just put a link and you can go to his blog and read it in there. What I do want to highlight in here, Rick, are the lessons learned that you shared, that Derek shared with us. That was really, really good. And here I would like to ask maybe Jos and Falco about what do they think about these lessons? Do they agree? Would they add anything to the list?
I think that are all very important lessons. And what lesson is not enough? You need to learn as much as you can to make the best environment possible. So everything is important. Secure, test your backups, monitor, documentation, everything.
Yep. So also thumbs up for this, and I would also say they deserve the badge just because they shared the story and that they helped someone else. Because I also want to highlight Scott's things about having a physical piece of paper where you have your stuff handy, for example. Because if really the building is not accessible anymore, what can you do? So having a piece of paper in some sort of safe or something or outside your company is a very good advice, I guess.
And it's awesome because some of the things we spoke about here are shown, like using Veeam and testing your backups, right? Love it, love it, love it. So Sophia just gave me word. Let's hit you up, Marco S. +6. Let's hit you up, Derek. +5 to +6. There you go. Thank you, Sophia. This is the biggest production. We got 2 video engineers, 1 social media. We got 2 people on the community team and me, and 2 experts. It's great. So speaking of Sophia, Maddie, you want to talk about this Match It game? This is some fun visualization here too.
Absolutely. So yeah, this is one more thing I wanted to talk about. And Sophia put a lot of work as well as our creative team that helped out. And I'm not going to forget Shane and Joe that contributed to create this game. So thank you very much for that. This is basically SysAdmin Day Match It game, where you can just go and have fun matching the images with the posts in the table that Safia created. So I can see already like people engaged with it. We shared it as well on social media, and hopefully more people are going to go and engage with this. It's just fun for today, but if you don't have time today, just go and do it tomorrow. I'm pretty sure Safia is going to let us know actually what is the the correct
the
way
actual
to
answers. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, big thanks to everyone for that. And I would like to also say thank you to Elena and Ninu that supported all this sysadmin initiative, because we've been working on the blog of the month, on the Match It game, on this production. So it was amazing to have such a great team behind all this initiative.
Well, I think, yes, I echo your thanks there, and also to Falco and Jos for sharing their stories. But that Match It game that we just made, maybe for another time, I'll tell you the story how I'm like drawing charades, and I think Sophia took pictures with her phone and sent it to our design engineers and came up. I don't even remember what some of these are, because I drew some of the visualizations. I'll have to see how I score on the game. But anyway, so we're going to bring it home here. So Maddie, thank you so much for curating the content here today. Jos, Falco, outstanding stories. Thank you so much. And everyone who viewed, we had a super engaging day today. So I really, really appreciate that. And then we got so much more coming up on Tuesday next week. The Industry Insights is back on Tuesday. Sir Dave Russell himself is going to be sharing a session with HPE Storage. Great integration, great partnership there. So you don't want to miss that. I think that will be at noon New York time on the Tuesday. Big thanks to our video producers in Ohio and Georgia, as well as our social media producer in Texas, as well as the global Veeam team that helped bring this content to us. On behalf of the Veeam product strategy team, Falco and Jos, thank you so much. We'll see you next time, and that concludes our stream.